Anxious. When a person is anxious, they worry that something bad will happen.
She was anxious about not making her appointment on time.
Awful. When something is awful, it is very bad.
Her performance last night was awful.
Consist. To consist of is to be made of parts or things.
Today's choices for lunch consisted of pizza, hamburgers, and hot dogs.
Desire. To desire is to want something.
My sister desires a big house and lots of money.
Eager. When a person is eager about something, they are excited about it.
The man was eager to talk about the good news.
Household. A household is all the people who live in one house.
Our household is made up of my father, my mother, and me.
Intent. An intent is a plan to do something.
Her intent is to visit Italy next summer.
Landscape. A landscape is how an area of land looks.
The landscape of the country is very green.
Lift. To lift something is to move it higher.
The man tried to lift the box.
Load. To load is to put objects into something.
The man loaded the boxes into a truck.
Lung. A lung is the organ in the body that fills with air when breathing.
Having strong lungs is necessary for a healthy life.
Motion. A motion is a movement that someone makes.
The police officer made a motion with his hand.
Pace. The pace of something is the speed at which it happens.
I ran the race at a slower pace than my friend.
Polite. When someone is polite, they are acting in a thoughtful way.
The boy was very polite. He behaved very thoughtfully.
Possess. To possess something is to have it or own it.
My uncle possesses 3 sheep, a chicken, a cow, and a dog.
Rapidly. When something happens rapidly, it happens very fast.
The train moved rapidly on the tracks.
Remark. To remark is to say something.
The teacher remarked on how quickly the students were learning.
Seek. To seek is to look for something.
If I have a problem, I seek my sister's advice.
Shine. To shine is to make a bright light.
The candles are shining in the dark room.
Spill. To spill is to have something fall out of its container.
I spilled the coffee on the table.
Bring. To bring means to take someone or something to a person or place.
Oscar will bring in all the boxes.
Castle. A castle is a building with strong walls where royalty usually lives.
The castle was built many years ago.
Command. To command someone is to tell them to do something.
The general commanded his army to attack.
Counsel. To counsel someone is to listen and give advice about a problem.
The teacher counseled the girl about her troubles.
Ensure. To ensure is to make certain that something happens.
Eating good food ensures that we stay healthy.
Explosion. An explosion is a violent burst, usually with a loud sound.
A nuclear explosion can cause great damage.
Jewelry. Jewelry is something that people wear, like earrings or necklaces.
The woman looked beautiful with her nice dress and jewelry.
Land. To land means to come to the ground, usually from a ship or aircraft.
The parachutist landed safely on the ground.
Meteor. A meteor is a rock from outer space that falls to Earth.
We saw a meteor in the sky last night.
Monster. A monster is any imaginary frightening creature that looks strange.
The monster scared everyone in the village.
Northern. If something is northern, it is in the direction of north.
It is much colder in northern countries than it is here.
Remote. If something is remote, it is very far away and difficult to get to.
It took many days to get to the remote island.
Southern. If something is southern, it is in the direction of south.
Daegu is located in the southern part of the Korean peninsula.
Statue. A statue is an image of a person or animal made of stone or metal.
I saw a beautiful statue of a lion today.
Steam. Steam is water that has become hot and has turned into a misty gas.
We could see the steam rise from the boiling water.
Submit. To submit to someone is to agree to do what they tell you to do.
She submitted to her mother's wishes and did her homework.
Temple. A temple is a building that is used for religious purposes.
The people visited the temple to pray.
Upper. Upper means higher in position or place.
A home's attic is at the upper part of the structure.
Weed. A weed is a plant, especially one that is not useful or wanted.
The yard of the house was full of ugly weeds.
Wing. A wing is the part of an animal that lets it fly.
The bird used its wings to fly across the water.
Arrow. An arrow is a thin, straight stick shot from a bow.
The arrow flew through the air and hit the target.
Battle. A battle is a fight between two armies during a war.
The battle lasted for many days.
Bow. A bow is a weapon made of curved wood and string that shoots arrows.
He went hunting with a bow and arrow.
Brave. When people are brave, they are not afraid to face pain or danger.
The brave firefighter saved the girl from the burning building.
Chief. A chief is the leader of a group of people.
The chief led the people through the mountains.
Disadvantage. A disadvantage is a situation where someone is likely to lose.
Mike had a disadvantage in the race since he hurt his knee.
Enemy. An enemy is a country that is fighting another country during a war.
The enemy prepared to attack the kingdom.
Entrance. An entrance is a place where someone can enter an area.
The gate was locked, so Bill had to find a different entrance.
Hardly. If something hardly happens, it almost does not happen at all.
I hardly saw the concert since I had to leave early.
Intend. To intend to do something means to plan to do it.
I intend to finish college in 3 years.
Laughter. Laughter is the sound produced by laughing about something funny.
Susan's joke made her classmates burst into laughter.
Log. A log is a thick piece of wood that is cut from a tree.
The fire was too small, so we added another log to it.
Military. The military is the armed forces of a country.
I joined the military after I finished high school.
Obey. To obey means to follow what a law or a person says you must do.
My little sister did not obey my mother. Now she is in trouble.
Secure. To secure something means to get it after a lot of effort.
I was able to secure a good grade on my test after weeks of studying.
Steady. When someone or something is steady, they are under control.
The problem was hard, but she remained steady and solved it.
Trust. To trust is to believe that someone is honest and will do what is right.
I trust my friends. They don't tell my secrets to other people.
Twist. To twist something is to wrap it around itself or another thing.
She twisted the spaghetti around her fork.
Unless. Unless means if not or except when.
Unless you clean your room, you cannot play with your friends.
Weapon. A weapon is an object that can be used to hurt people.
Swords have been used as weapons for thousands of years.
Chest. The chest is the front part of a person's body, under the neck.
The water in the lake was as high as my chest.
Confidence. If you have confidence about something, you are sure of it.
I have confidence that I did well on the test.
Consequence. A consequence is a result of a choice or action.
As a consequence of missing my bus, I had to find another way to work.
Disaster. A disaster is a really bad thing that happens.
When the car crashed, it was a disaster.
Disturb. To disturb someone means to upset them.
The loud noise disturbed me while I was working.
Estimate. To estimate something means to make a guess about it.
The boy estimated that he was 1 meter tall.
Honor. When you honor people or things, you show respect for them.
I honor my science teacher by working hard in class.
Impress. To impress someone means to make that person proud.
He was able to impress the girls with his new dance.
Marathon. A marathon is a very long foot race, just over 42 kilometers.
I ran a marathon and now my legs are tired.
Narrow. When something is narrow, it is very thin.
The bridge is too narrow for a car to drive over.
Pale. When something is pale, it does not have a bright color.
The girl's skin was very pale.
Rough. When something is rough, it is not even or smooth.
The rough ground hurt my feet.
Satisfy. To satisfy someone means to make them happy.
It will satisfy my teacher if I finish all my homework.
Scream. To scream means to make a loud noise with your mouth.
The girl saw a spider and screamed.
Sensitive. When someone or something is sensitive, they are easily hurt.
My teeth are sensitive to cold things.
Shade. The shade is a dark area that something makes when it blocks the sun.
It was hot outside, so the boy sat in the shade of a tree.
Supplement. To supplement something is to add something else to it in a good way.
He supplements his diet with fresh fruits.
Terror. When someone feels terror, they are scared.
I felt a sense of terror when the tiger chased me.
Threat. A threat is something bad that might happen.
Due to the dark clouds, there was a threat of a bad storm.
Victim. A victim is a person that had something bad happen to them.
I was a victim of a robbery.
Ancestor. An ancestor is a family member from the past.
My ancestors came from Germany.
Angle. An angle is the direction from which you look at something.
The giraffe turned its head to see from another angle.
Boot. A boot is a heavy shoe that goes over your ankle.
He wore boots so that his feet wouldn't get wet.
Border. A border is the edge of an area.
The postcard had a pretty green border of pine needles.
Congratulate. To congratulate someone is to tell them that you are happy for them.
Bill and Angela congratulated each other on a job well done.
Frame. A frame is a border for a picture or mirror.
I have to get a frame for my friend's picture.
Heaven. Heaven is the place that some people believe people go when they die.
When I die, I hope that I go to heaven.
Incredible. If someone or something is incredible, it is hard to believe they are true.
I have an incredible story to tell you about my vacation.
Legend. A legend is a story from the past.
There is a well-known legend about a king and his queen.
Praise. To praise is to show that you like someone or something.
The coach praised both athletes after a good practice.
Proceed. To proceed is to go in a certain direction.
My son and I proceeded to the beach so we could go fishing.
Pure. If something is pure, it is very clear and beautiful.
The rose was pure. It had no dirt or imperfections.
Relative. A relative is a family member.
My relatives came by to see the new baby.
Senior. If one is senior, they are the oldest or have been there the longest.
Because he got his job first, Bob is the senior chef.
Silent. If someone or something is silent, they make no sound.
Since no one was home, the house was silent.
Sink. To sink into something is to slowly fall into it.
The boat had a hole in it, and it sank into the ocean.
Superior. If someone or something is superior, they are better than another.
I think cooking outdoors is superior to cooking indoors.
Surround. To surround something is to close in on it from all sides.
We surrounded the suspect on all four sides.
Thick. If something is thick, it is wide and solid.
The fog was so thick that I couldn't see through it.
Wrap. To wrap is to cover something on all sides.
I wrapped his gift and put a bow on it.
Abroad. If someone goes or travels abroad, they go to another country.
My brother wants to go abroad next year.
Anger. To anger someone is to make them mad.
It angers me when people are rude.
Bride. A bride is a woman who is getting married or has just gotten married.
The bride looked beautiful in her wedding dress.
Brief. If something is brief, it only lasts for a short time.
The meeting this afternoon was very brief.
Chase. To chase someone or something is to follow them in order to catch them.
I was chased by an angry native.
Disappoint. To disappoint is to make one feel sad or unsatisfied.
I do not want to disappoint my family, so I try to do well at school.
Dive. To dive is to jump into water.
I will dive into the lake once we get there.
Exchange. To exchange means to give something for another thing in return.
I exchanged my foreign money for American dollars.
Favor. A favor is something you do for someone to help them.
Can you do me a favor and turn off the lights?
Fee. A fee is an amount of money that a person or company asks for a service.
I had to pay an hourly fee to speak with my lawyer.
Forever. If something lasts forever, it means it lasts for all time.
The young couple promised that they would love each other forever.
Guy. A guy is an informal way to call a man.
The guy at the flower shop was really helpful today.
Lovely. If people or things are lovely, they are good-looking or beautiful.
The trees look lovely in the fall.
Mood. A mood is the way someone is feeling.
I am in a good mood because I did well on my math test.
Palace. A palace is a very large building. It is often the home of a royal family.
The king and queen live in a beautiful palace.
Permit. To permit something is to let someone do it.
I was sick, so my mother permitted me to stay home from school.
Protest. To protest something is to argue about it with someone.
The people protested the decision of the president.
Sculpture. A sculpture is a piece of art that is made from wood, clay, or stone.
We saw an old sculpture of Buddha at the museum.
Tribe. A tribe is a group of people who live in the same culture.
There's a small tribe of people who live in the mountains of Spain.
Youth. Youth is a time in people's lives when they are young.
My mother wanted to be a nurse in her youth.
Basis. To do something on time's basis is how often you do it.
My grandfather gets his hearing checked on a yearly basis.
Biology. Biology is the study of living things.
We learned about the human heart in biology class.
Cage. A cage is something that holds an animal so it cannot leave.
We put the parrots in their cage at night.
Colleague. A colleague is somebody you work with.
My colleague helped me finish the job.
Colony. A colony is a country controlled by another country.
The USA was at one time a colony of Great Britain.
Debate. To debate is to seriously discuss something with someone.
The husband and wife debated over which TV to buy.
Depart. To depart is to leave some place so you can go to another place.
The plane departed for Italy at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Depress. To depress someone is to make them sad.
The bad news from work depressed the man.
Factual. When something is factual, it is true.
John learns about history from factual books.
Fascinate. To fascinate someone is to make them really like something.
The kitten was fascinated by the ball of yarn.
Mission. A mission is an important job that is sometimes far away.
The woman's mission was to help sick people.
Nevertheless. You use nevertheless to show that something goes against a fact.
He is usually friendly. Nevertheless, he wasn't this afternoon.
Occupation. An occupation is a person's job.
My father's occupation is a dentist.
Overseas. If you go overseas, you go to a country on the other side of an ocean.
John often goes overseas for vacations.
Persuade. To persuade someone is to make them agree to do something.
The children persuaded their parents to buy them gifts.
Route. A route is the way you go from one place to another.
I saw many new houses along the route to the city.
Ruins. Ruins are old buildings that are not used anymore.
I visited some interesting ruins in Greece.
Scholar. A scholar is a person who studies something and knows much about it.
The scholar knew much about art history.
Significant. When someone or something is significant, they are important.
I read many significant novels as a literature major in university.
Volcano. A volcano is a mountain with a hole on top where hot liquid comes out.
When the volcano erupted, smoke and heat filled the air.
Broad. If something is broad, it is wide.
The river is very long and broad.
Bush. A bush is a plant with many thin branches. It is smaller than a tree.
My dad and I planted some small bushes around the house.
Capable. If someone or something is capable of something, they can do it.
The Olympic athlete is capable of lifting a lot of weight.
Cheat. To cheat is to be dishonest, so that you can win or do well.
They cheated on the test by sharing answers.
Concentrate. To concentrate on someone or something is to give your full attention.
I could not concentrate on my homework because the room was so loud.
Conclude. To conclude is to arrive at a logical end by looking at evidence.
I saw crumbs on my dog's face, so I concluded that he ate my cookie.
Confident. Confident means that one believes they can do something without failing.
She was confident she could climb the mountain due to her training.
Considerable. If something is considerable, it is large in size, amount, or extent.
They paid a considerable amount of money for that car.
Convey. To convey is to communicate or make ideas known.
That picture of a crying child conveys a feeling of sadness.
Definite. If something is definite, it is certain or sure to be true.
There is a definite connection between hard work and success.
Delight. Delight is a feeling of being very happy with something.
He felt such delight after getting a promotion at work.
Destination. A destination is the place where someone or something is going to.
The destination of this plane is Munich, Germany.
Dictate. To dictate something is to read it aloud so it can be written down.
He dictated his speech so his secretary could write it down.
Edge. The edge of something is the part of it that is farthest from the center.
He ran to the edge of the cliff.
Path. A path is a way from one place to another that people can walk along.
We followed a path through the woods.
Resort. To resort to something is to depend on it in order to solve a problem.
I hope they don't resort to violence to end the argument.
Shadow. A shadow is the dark area that is made when something blocks light.
The man's shadow was taller than he was.
Succeed. To succeed is to complete something that you planned or tried to do.
He will continue to work on the robot until he succeeds.
Suspect. To suspect something is to believe that it is true.
I suspect that those kids stole the money.
Valley. A valley is a low area of land between two mountains or hills.
We looked at the valley below from the top of the mountain.
Admire. To admire someone is to like them for what they do.
I admire my brother for his hard work.
Aid. To aid someone is to help them when they need something.
The doctor aided the boy after his accident.
Attempt. To attempt something is to try to do that thing.
I am attempting to learn English.
Authority. Authority is the power that someone has because of their position.
The policeman has authority on the streets.
Capital. A capital is an important city where a country's leaders live and work.
We will visit the capital to learn about our government.
Cooperate. To cooperate is to work together to do something.
The students cooperated to clean up the classroom.
Defend. To defend someone or something is to protect them from attack.
The soldiers defended the town from the invaders.
Destruction. Destruction is damage to something so bad that it can't be fixed.
After the big fire, there was much destruction in the city.
Disorder. Disorder is a lack of order, or a complete mess.
The teacher's desk had many papers in disorder.
Division. A division is the act of making smaller groups out of a larger one.
The chart had 6 divisions which all had different colors.
Enable. To enable a person is to make it possible for them to do something.
Having the key enabled us to open the door.
Frustrate. To frustrate is to prevent someone from fulfilling their desire.
The machine frustrated me because I could not fix it.
Govern. To govern is to control the public business of a country, state, or city.
The United States is governed from the White House.
Plenty. To have plenty of something is to have more than you need.
The school had plenty of books for the students to read.
Relieve. To relieve someone is to make them feel less pain.
The medicine relieved the sick boy.
Reputation. Reputation is the opinion that people have about someone.
The doctor had a reputation for helping people.
Royal. Royal describes something that belongs to a king or queen.
The king sat upon the royal throne.
Slave. A slave is a person who is not free and must work for someone else.
The slave worked very hard all day long.
Struggle. To struggle is to fight against someone or something.
The kids struggled with each other for the toy.
Stupid. When someone is stupid, they lack intelligence.
He said something stupid that made everyone angry at him.
Citizen. A citizen is someone who lives in a certain town or city.
Carlos was born in Spain. He is a Spanish citizen.
Council. A council is a group of people who run a city or town.
The council met to discuss the new laws for the city.
Declare. To declare is to say something officially.
I declared my love for him.
Extraordinary. When someone or something are extraordinary, they are amazing.
The fireman who rescued the girl was extraordinary.
Fog. Fog is a thick cloud that is near the ground or water.
I did not want to drive in the thick fog.
Funeral. A funeral is a ceremony that takes place after a person dies.
They had a funeral for the soldier who died during the war.
Giant. When people or things are giant, They are very big.
The giant truck got in my way.
Impression. An impression is the way of thinking about someone or something.
Most people's first impression of Dr. Gianni is that he is mean.
Mad. When someone is mad, they are angry.
Mother got mad when I didn't listen to her.
Ought. If someone ought to do something, then it is the right thing to do.
I ought to take my library books back.
Resist. To resist something is to fight against it.
He resisted the treatment at the hospital.
Reveal. To reveal is to show something.
I will reveal where I hid the candy bar.
Rid. To rid is to make a place free from something or someone.
We rid our home of mice by using traps.
Sword. A sword is a long, sharp weapon.
They used to use swords in battles in ancient times.
Tale. A tale is a story.
She told her two friends about the wild tale of her day.
Trap. To trap people or animals is to capture them so they cannot get away.
We trapped butterflies in a net.
Trial. A trial is the way a court discovers if a person is guilty or innocent.
He went on trial for robbing the bank.
Violent. When people are violent, they want to hurt someone.
The man was put into jail because he was violent.
Admission. Admission is the act of allowing to enter a place.
The admission ticket to the movie was $5.
Astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the stars and planets.
Harold loved watching the stars, so he decided to study astronomy.
Blame. To blame someone for something bad is to say they did it.
My mom blamed me for something I didn't do.
Chemistry. Chemistry is the study of and reaction to substances.
In chemistry class, the professor taught us about chemical reactions.
Despite. If something happens despite what you do, it happens anyway.
We still played the game despite the cold weather.
Dinosaur. A dinosaur is a very big animal that lived millions of years ago.
I like to see the dinosaur bones at the museum.
Exhibit. An exhibit is a display of interesting things.
There was an animal exhibit at the fair.
Fame. Fame is reputation one has gained among the public.
He had fame and fortune, but he was not happy.
Forecast. A forecast is an idea about what the weather will be like in the future.
The forecast says that it will rain all week.
Genius. A genius is a very smart person.
Since she was a genius, she easily passed all of her school exams.
Gentle. Someone who is gentle is kind and calm.
He is very gentle with the baby.
Geography. Geography is the study of where things are.
I had to draw a map for geography class.
Interfere. To interfere is to cause problems and keep something from happening.
My little sister always interferes when I'm trying to study.
Lightly. To do something lightly is to not push very hard.
Draw lightly so you do not tear your paper.
Principal. A principal is a person in charge of a school.
My school's principal can be very strict with the rules.
Row. A row is a line of things.
James put all of his toy soldiers into neat rows.
Shelf. A shelf is a place on a wall where you put things.
I keep my clothes on a shelf in my closet.
Spite. If you do something out of spite, you want to be mean.
He snuck into his sister's room and stole her bag out of spite.
Super. Super means really good.
My dad said I did a super job cleaning the house.
Wet. If something is wet, it has water on it.
Since my dog was wet, he tried to shake all the water off his body.
Abuse. To abuse someone or something means to hurt them on purpose.
The mean man abused his dog when it barked too loudly.
Afford. To afford something means you have enough money to pay for it.
I've been saving my money, so I can afford to buy a new bike.
Bake. To bake means to cook food with heat.
My sister is a good cook. She bakes delicious cakes.
Bean. A bean is a plant seed that is good to eat.
There are many different kinds of beans to eat.
Candle. A candle is a stick of wax that is lit on fire for light or heat.
When the lights went out, we lit some candles.
Convert. To convert something means to change it into something else.
The man converted his messy field into a garden of flowers.
Debt. A debt is an amount of money that a person owes.
I have not paid my gas bill. I owe a debt to the gas company.
Decrease. To decrease something is to make it less than it was before.
Hiring more police officers has decreased crime in the city.
Fault. A fault is a mistake.
It is my fault that the cat ran away. I left the door open.
Fund. A fund is an amount of money that people have.
We all put money into our club's fund.
Generous. When someone is generous, they like to give things to people.
The generous man donated several new computers to our school.
Ingredient. An ingredient is something that is part of a food dish.
The main ingredients in cake are eggs, sugar, and flour.
Insist. To insist means to be firm in telling people what to do.
I insist that you try some of these cookies.
Mess. A mess is a condition that is not clean or neat.
Heather's room was a complete mess.
Metal. Metal is a strong material people use to build things.
Steel is a common metal that is used to build buildings.
Monitor. To monitor people or things is to watch them closely.
The teacher monitors the students when they take tests.
Oppose. To oppose something means to dislike it or act against it.
I want to be a police officer because I oppose crime.
Passive. If a person is passive, they do not take action to solve problems.
Marcy is so passive that she never solves her own problems.
Quantity. A quantity is a certain amount of something.
I have a small quantity of milk in my glass.
Sue. To sue someone is to take them to court for something wrong they did.
I sued the company after I slipped on a banana peel in their hallway.
Anxiety. When someone has anxiety, they have a lot of worries and fear.
When I have to climb to high places, I'm filled with anxiety.
Army. An army is a large group of people who fight in wars.
The army protects all the people in the country.
Billion. A billion is a very large number.
There are billions of stars in outer space.
Carve. To carve means to cut into something.
My father usually carves the turkey for Thanksgiving.
Consult. To consult someone means to ask them for help.
I will consult my accountant to find a way to pay for my bills.
Emergency. An emergency is a time when someone needs help right away.
There is a huge fire in my house. This is an emergency.
Fortune. When someone has good fortune, it means they have luck.
I have good fortune when I play cards.
Guarantee. To guarantee means to know something will happen.
I guarantee that the sun will come up in the morning.
Hike. To hike means to walk in the mountains or forest.
I always bring plenty of equipment with me when I hike.
Initial. When something is initial, it is the first thing.
The initial step when writing a paper is to find a good topic.
Intense. If something is intense, it is very strong.
The skunk made an intense odor that filled the air.
Lend. To lend something is to give it to someone for a short time.
My sister lost her pen, so I will lend her mine.
Peak. The peak is the very top of a mountain.
There is snow on the peaks of those mountains.
Potential. Potential means capable of being but not yet in existence.
I've thought of some potential problems with your idea.
Pride. When you have pride, you are happy with yourself.
I take pride in getting good grades.
Proof. Proof is a fact that shows something is real.
They used his fingerprint as proof for the crime he committed.
Quit. To quit something means to stop doing it.
I quit running because I got tired.
Spin. To spin is to turn around in circles.
The boy kept spinning until he fell down.
Tiny. When people or things are tiny, they are very small.
A baby's hand is tiny.
Tutor. A tutor is someone who gives lessons in a certain subject.
My sister is bad at math, so my mother hired a tutor to help her.
Apparent. If something is apparent, it is easy to see.
Her happiness was apparent from the smile on her face.
Blind. When people are blind, they cannot see.
The blind man didn't see the hole and almost fell in.
Calculate. To calculate is to find an answer using math.
I calculated how much money I would need to buy the car.
Chat. To chat is to talk with someone.
Even though they were far apart, the couple chatted every day.
Commit. To commit to something is to promise to do it.
Seth wanted to go home, but he had committed to finishing the job.
Compose. To compose something is to make it from smaller parts.
Tanya composed her report using many sources of information.
Dormitory. A dormitory is a school building where students live.
I will move into the dormitory at the beginning of the school year.
Exhaust. To exhaust someone is to make them tired.
John exhausted himself by swimming all day.
Greenhouse. A greenhouse is a small glass building that is used to grow plants.
We have a small greenhouse in our backyard where we grow plants.
Ignore. To ignore something is to act like you do not see or hear it.
I ignored the message he was making and kept studying.
Obvious. If something is obvious, it is clear and easily seen.
It was obvious that he was tired. He kept falling asleep.
Physics. Physics is a science that deals with energy and how it affects things.
In physics class, we used Newton's cradle to learn about energy.
Portion. A portion of something is a part of it.
I only ate a small portion of the pizza.
Remind. To remind someone is to tell them to remember to do something.
Nick's dad reminded him to do his homework.
Secretary. A secretary is a person who works in an office.
Rebecca asked her secretary to type a report.
Severe. If something is severe, it is very bad or serious.
After hitting his hand with the hammer, Sam was in severe pain.
Talent. If someone has a talent, they are naturally able to do it well.
Maria has a talent for playing the piano.
Thesis. A thesis is an idea that needs to be proved.
She did not support her thesis very well.
Uniform. A uniform is a piece of clothing worn by people of the same group.
All the members of our marching band wear matching uniforms.
Vision. Vision is the act of seeing.
The eye doctor tested my vision.
Absorb. To absorb a liquid means to take it inside.
He used a sponge to absorb the water on the floor.
Boss. A boss is a person in charge of other people at work.
My boss is a nice person.
Committee. A committee is a group of people who meet together to make decisions.
The school's committee agreed on a new dress code for students.
Contract. A contract is a written agreement between two people.
The woman signed a contract when she bought the house.
Crew. A crew is a group of workers.
My father has a crew. They help him build houses.
Devote. To devote time to something means to spend a lot of time doing it.
She devotes 2 hours a day to playing the piano.
Dig. To dig is to make a hole in the ground.
My dog digs in the yard so he can hide his bones.
Dine. To dine means to eat dinner.
The young couple dined at their home.
Donate. To donate is to give something to a charity or organization.
We donate money to Christmas charities every year.
Double. If something is double, it is twice as much, or twice as many.
I paid almost double the amount for that shirt.
Elevate. To elevate something is to put it at a higher level.
The man elevated the picture so he could see it better.
Flavor. A flavor is the taste of food or drinks.
The flavor of the ice cream was very good.
Foundation. A foundation is a group that provides money for research.
The foundation raised money to give scholarships to students.
Generation. A generation is a group of people who live at the same time.
My grandparents are from a different generation than me.
Handle. A handle is the part of an object people hold while using it.
The pot is very hot, so pick it up by the handle.
Layer. A layer covers over something or is between two things.
There was a layer of snow on the tops of the houses this morning.
Mud. Mud is soft, wet dirt.
My brother played rugby in the mud. Now he's dirty.
Smooth. If something is smooth, it has no bumps.
The baby's skin felt very smooth.
Soil. Soil is the top layer of land on the earth.
The boy planted flowers in the soil and watered them every day.
Unique. If people or things are unique, they are not like the others.
Her dog is unique. I've never seen one quite like it.